read with your teacher last week. The first word that we want to discuss is the word dissimilar. It sounds kind of funny. We're used to the word similar, but this word means not similar or not alike. So similar and dissimilar are antonyms. They are opposites. If two things are dissimilar, then they are different. So I want you thinking right now, in what ways are third grade and fourth grade dissimilar? One way that third grade and fourth grade is dissimilar is, if you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. Okay, one common response that I've heard many times from students is that one thing that third grade and fourth grade, or one way rather, that third and fourth grade is dissimilar is in fourth grade we are doing a lot more writing, daily writing activities. One reason why people become friends is because they are similar in certain ways. They might have similar interests and they might have similar personalities. But good friends can also be dissimilar or different in certain ways. I want you thinking, what is one way that you and a good friend are dissimilar? If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself using this sentence frame. One way that my friend and I are dissimilar is... The next word that we want to talk about that came from this text, animal senses, is the word focus. Many animals that hunt other animals for food have eyes in the front of their heads. Both eyes can focus on or adjust to see clearly the same thing at the same time, which helps predators track their prey. We're going to do a quick experiment. I want you to hold your index finger out at arm's length, so hold it straight out in front of you. And now look at your finger. Okay, slowly move that finger toward your nose, then slowly move it back out to arm's length. Notice what happens as your eyes focus on your moving fingers. Try it. What did you notice as your eyes focused on your finger? If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. As my eyes focused on my finger, I noticed you might have noticed everything in the background become very, very blurry and even like start to see double as it got closer to your nose. So focus can also mean to concentrate your attention on something. For example, when I am taking a test, I try to focus on what the questions are asking. So boys and girls, focus has multiple meanings. This is a multiple meaning word. Usually when you come across a word like focus that has multiple meanings, you have to read it very carefully in the text to think about how the word is being used. So we know that focus can mean to adjust your eyes to see something clearly, or it can also mean to concentrate your attention or effort on something. Take a look at this example. The Girl Scouts are meeting today. They will focus their planning on their camping trip. How is that word being used? Is it adjusting your eyes to something, or is it concentrating your attention? Right, it's concentrating your attention on something. Take a look at this example. Milo's dad is farsighted. He wears glasses that help his eyes focus on objects up close. Great, so now we're talking about adjusting your eyes to see something clearly. The last word we want to talk about today on day one is the word function. A function is a purpose, a role, or a job. In the text, the part of the book is giving information about animals' ears and their sense of hearing. It talks about how their ears serve several important functions or purposes for animals. So what is the function or the purpose of animals' ears? You're thinking back to the text that you read last week about animal senses. If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. A function of animals' ears is to Okay. The last thing we want to talk about is this prefix, un. So a prefix is a group of letters that is added to the beginning of a word to make a new word. For example, you might have the word focus, and then you might have a word like unfocused. Sometimes we see it usually with ed at the end, unfocused. Like maybe I'm a student and sometimes I get a little unfocused in class. So un is a prefix that means not. So we have these words, able, fair, happy, tied, and well, and we can add un to the following words to make them the opposite. Unable, unfair, unhappy, untied, and unwell. That wraps up day 1. We'll see you back tomorrow for day 2.